Welcome back to the WACA, and we're here for this match, as Peter and Paul discussed earlier, between Manly and Cronulla Sutherland. It's a home game, actually, for the Sharks, and quite a good crowd has turned out. It's not a bad winter's night, in fact, and a good crowd in attendance to see the Cronulla Sutherland side do battle against Manly. And as has already been pointed out, every match for Manly from here on in is undoubtedly a grand final. All the seats in the top of the inferiority stand have been occupied. It's obviously a fairly popular meeting place. Cronulla and Manly jumpers quite evident in the crowd. And the Lily Marsh stand as well. That's the side we're broadcasting from. In fact, that shot from ground level back up into the commentary position. And it's beautifully lit adjacent to Gloucester Park Raceway here at the WACA. The Manly fans are out. Well, I'm not sure what that Balmain jumper is doing, holding up the Manly flag. Well, Dan Staines now is ready to bring Cronulla Sutherland out onto the WACA. They've been here before, and they were beaten on that occasion. So too Manly has been here once before. So it's both sides having lost in their only encounters at the WACA. Let's have a look at the teams now. Wrigley at fullback. Diamond, Higgins, Bell, Evans, the three quarters. Eddinghausen in number 6 tonight. Healy, Lee, Raper, Hicks, Staines, Kearns and Boughton. Arthur Beetson is the coach. Les Davidson, I take it from that, is working off the bench. Arthur Beetson, the man in charge, and a coach under siege for most of the year. But when you look at his record, the last 6 out of 9 have been victories for Cronulla. Manly now, with Jeff Tuvey taking them out, and Ian Roberts playing in the game. He was concussed heavily against St George. Let's have a look at this Manly side. It was a tremendous performance, really, against the Saints, and many people think that they should have won the game. Cleary, Hancock, Oljanik, Devereaux, Elsgood, Tuvey, Hasler, Alexander, O'Donnell, Roberts, Iro, Jones and Cunningham. Bob Fulton, the coach, and that, of course, is the same side as the last time we telecast Manly. David Manson's the referee. Ivan Cleary's got the ball placed for the start. Manly, a huge job in front of them to make the 1993 semi-finals, and this tonight has been well documented, is a grand final game for them, as Danny Lee is the first man for Cronulla to play the ball. Diamond coming in off his wing, a position that he occupies almost permanently these days. He played a lot of forwards, though, in his career. And now Robbie Kearns. Sound of David Manson's whistle in the first set of 6 for Cronulla against the Manly defence for not getting off the man tackled.
And as in just about every game we telecast, the first penalty of the game goes for a play the ball infringement. Cronulla playing trying to get up for a quick play of the ball. Many players stopping it from doing so. And with the breeze behind their back, the small amount of breeze there is, Cronulla will be looking to play good field position through a good kicking game.
This is young Hick. He's had knee reconstruction this year. Very good young player. Craig Diamond. Here's how they stand on the table. Manly on 16, Cronulla 12. Points against Cronulla, a worry for Arthur Beetson. They're down in equal 10th position. This is the captain, Dan Staines. He's worn the green and gold. State of origin player for Queensland as well, through Mitch Healy. It finds Kurt Wrigley. Full back in the headgear. We don't see that too often. Little chip over the top by Aaron Raper. Nicely weighted, but Cleary was there waiting for it. And 8 metres out from his own line, Ivan Cleary to play the ball. It's the head-to-head. Cronulla came into the competition in 1967. And it's 39 for Manly, 12 Cronulla, and 2 drawn matches. And there's the away results. Cronulla 3-3 this year, Manly 4-3. Those 2 drawn results between Cronulla and Manly probably go back, Paul, to some battles they had in 1978 from memory.
Yeah, the grand finals back in those days, they drew 11-all before a replay that Manly won 16-0 on the Tuesday.
This is Wrigley with that headgear. He's playing with it unstrapped, and unless the fastener has come unstuck, I'm not sure, but it's a dangerous way to play the game. Evans it was who played the ball, tall, lanky, under 21. This is Danny Lee.
It's been a very good start by Cronulla. No mistakes as yet. They haven't tried to be too fancy with the football. Their kicking game has been okay. The one kick we've seen found open spaces. And this is the kind of play they're going to persevere with throughout the 80 minutes. There to match it with Manly. And they've got the football. They must use it intelligently. Up goes the signal for the high kick. And Mitch Healy does so.
Going down towards... well, actually, Jack Elsgood has come up with it. I thought Cleary was going to go up high, but obviously Elsgood gave him a call and said, it's my ball. This is Oljanek.
Good communication there by the Eagles. And now a penalty goes to them. Once again, another play the ball infringement. Manson getting on top of these situations early in the match. And the Manly player held down, and good relieving penalty for them. Cronulla have done everything right so far.
This is Cleary. 20 metres out from his own line. Of course, these two clubs played in a grand final and considered by many to be the most memorable of all, the 1973 grand final. Tommy Bishop was with the Sharks then, so too was Cliffy Watson. And Manly, of course, had their coach of today, Bob Fulton, in their team.
And he scored 2 tries, one in the game.
He
10-7.
did.
Yep.
He squeezed everything out of that grand final, Bob Fulton, and from memory it was a 10-7 victory for Manly. Cleary punching it way down the ground. Oh, Wrigley had a good sight of it, but it went straight through his hands. Manson said play on. Wrigley comes out, gets between the defence, including Tony Iro. He's eventually pulled down by Ivan Cleary. Now it's with Healy. This is Evans.
Very poor miss there from Jamie Oljanek, who was leading the charge for Manly. A simple step from the fullback. Wrigley caught him out. No problems whatsoever. And Cronulla back inside the Manly half now, and they haven't had to work too hard to get there.
Kearns. Been one of Cronulla's better players right through the year, Robbie Kearns. Healy with the chip, and again Cleary is waiting for it. Well, he's been nicely positioned, Cleary, every time he's been called on, and there's been plenty of action for him. Tuvey tries to make the break from his own 20-metre zone. Devereaux. Hancock on a long run down the right flank, comes to the fullback, beats him, but tied it up as the defence comes across from Healy. Good work by Mitch Healy. Wide ball required. O'Donnell through Hasler to Oljanek. Buffeting defence from Cronulla puts the youngster away. 35 from the line. Alexander's pass looked a little bit dubious to Jones. O'Donnell, Hasler, Tuvey. Devereaux comes left. The kick is on the ground for Wrigley.
That was a bit of a nothing kick there by Jeff Tuvey. Possibly the ball should have gone to the air, but straight down Wrigley's throat, so to speak. But here it is here.
I actually thought he had men outside, Paul. If he throws a long pass to the winger, there's another easy 10 metres there before the winger could have put a kick in. Stressed a couple of times in the call that the likes of Terry Lambsnett would have seen that as a dummy throw, and by Raper picks up 5 or 6 metres. Brisbane's and the Canberras in these competitions, they don't let opportunities like that pass.
Kearns again. Getting play almost to the halfway. An early kick now by Cronulla. Healy keeping it down in that corner, and Cleary has to work away from there. That's the best place to defend from, of course, if you can keep them in the corners. Jack Elsgood. Tony Iro. Roberts. Jones hits it out. Steve Roach, how do you feel? You all right now?
Yeah, good as gold, Rabs. Have a look every time Manly get caught on their own, in their own area, in their own red zone, that John Devereaux comes in and takes the ball out all the time. That's a player playing with a lot of confidence.
Beautifully fielded the kick from Cleary. This is Evans coming back with it. Paul Evans. Diamond.
He's had a great start to this game, Paul Evans. Took this particularly well. Slips catch, the right place to do it at the WACA, I suppose. It meant that Manly only picked up about 15 metres with the kick. Raper on the far side now picks up Andrew Hick with a couple of tackles up their sleeve.
A couple of occasions Manly's marker defence has been pretty shoddy. Raper's been out of there a couple of times in the early stages of the game when you would expect the marker defence to be very alert. This is the last. Healy got the kick in. He was wiped out by Roberts. It wasn't late though. They go high and it's loose on the park. Manson rules knocked forward. Turnover.
And Cronulla continue to play some very good football here. They've had a great start to this game. Haven't made a mistake as yet. A very high kick here from Healy. Plenty of pressure coming through on Hancock. The Cronulla players went up for it. The Manly players didn't. And you saw the knock on there.
The Cronulla players nearly got in each other's road there. It was a good kick because it landed right on the line. There's another relieving penalty awarded to the Manly side. Cronulla players in the tackle for too long.
They look a bit disorganised, Manly, Peter.
Well, Cronulla have done well because every time they've had the football, they've played out their sets of 6. Now, the whole game, we've seen it down this end of the field. So they've had to do a fair bit of work, Manly. A lot of defensive stuff.
O'Donnell taking the tap. Roberts. Iro. Cunningham running off him. Out to the 40-metre line, Owen Cunningham. O'Donnell. Dummies to the blind side as they come back the open. This is David Alexander. They met twice last year. Manly won the encounter narrowly at Brookvale. Here's a chance for the Eagles, but Oljanek was well read and pulled down by Ettinghausen. Tuvey, Hasler, Iro. Cunningham comes inside. Danny Lee is there to make the tackle. That's the last. Cronulla won the second round encounter last year by a wide margin. That was at Caltex. Wrigley takes it well. Players coming down on him who had no intention of going for the ball.
No, well, Johnny James came through at a lot of pace and really tried to take Wrigley out without going for the ball. Now, watch Jones. No intention of going for the football. Lucky not to get a penalty against the Manly.
He also did a good job, Wrigley. Instead of rushing up and having to stand there and wait for the football, he stayed back and timed his run so that he could go in with a bit of momentum. He was able to climb a little bit higher than what he would have been able to just standing there. Been very involved in the first 10 minutes of this game. Good run there. It's like from Danny Luton. No, it's in fact Kearns. Takes it nearly to halfway centre field. All back to Healy for the kick.
Cleary again over in familiar territory, but Jack Elsgood takes it away. Oh, that's a good tackle. That's Higgins, the centre. Tuvey. Roberts now. Yes, I mentioned that Cronulla has been here to the WACA before, so has Manly. Cronulla played Parramatta, you might remember, in 1991. The Eels won 22-12. Here's Elsgood, losing his footing about 15 metres into Cronulla territory. And the touch judge goes in to make a report, I would say, Craig Diamond's tackle on Elsgood.
And lucky here, Cronulla, because Aaron Raper, the man who put the ankle tap in, this would have been a try otherwise. Elsgood's got plenty of pace. Watch the ankle tap. Oljanek's back on the inside. If he holds his footing, then it could have been a Manly try.
A fairly late effort there. He's got every right to go in, Craig Diamond, to affect the tackle. He came in with the elbow there, and yeah, that's a penalty and a fairly nasty one. Pretty cheap shot, that one. Unusual from Diamond.
Right in front of you, Block.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was all right from the start, but looking at the replay, I suppose that's a luxury. It was a bit of an elbow from Diamond.
Manly now with Jones. 18 metres out from the line. Hasler. Cunningham. He's getting out wide, Owen, and he's cutting back up the centre. He's done it often in the match so far. Roberts. 9 metres from the Cronulla line. First real test for Cronulla. Hasler. Tuvey. Iro runs the decoy. Tuvey. Good ball. Oljanek. Oljanek gets it down over the line. It's a try. Jamie Oljanek.
Yes, the first test for Cronulla, and they failed in their own 10-metre area. Beautiful try laid on by Jeff Tuvey, the Manly captain. Went to the Cronulla defence. Manly had played well here. They took it to the far side of the field, brought it back. There's plenty of Cronulla defence here, but the nice dummy, ineffective defence has cost Cronulla the try. And they probably should have got Oljanek too, but momentum carried him over.
Once again, the strength of Jeff Tuvey in evidence. I thought the bad miss was the number 7, Mitch Healy. There you see him just throwing the left arm out, came up with nobody. Manly turned something out of nothing there, and it was Jeff Tuvey. Probably a little ball. 2 defenders clinging off him. There's no way he should have been allowed to pass a football. And Oljanek did very well to get that ball down. He too had 2 defenders there. Left no doubt he got the first 4-pointer. Just cemented a spot in this top side, Jamie Oljanek, after coming from Penrith Club last year. He had plenty of pace to this Manly side. He's a good young talent.
Yeah, he scored a great try against St George last week too. He beat 3 or 4 players in the one movement, and talented young player. He took some time to find his feet in second grade, but since coming into first, he's been playing extremely well.
Prominent, I think, in that win against Brisbane as well. There's the kick from 8 metres in from touch, unsuccessful from Cleary. So Manly lead Cronulla from the WACA, 4 points to 0, 14 gone, Friday night football. Welcome back to the WACA. This is the first tackle from the restart, and Manly are putting it together. They're going to score a try, I'd say. Elsgood's got support. Here comes the defence from Higgins, but it's all too late. Elsgood scores the try from the kickoff.
Well, unbelievable stuff here from Manly. They are a team that can go the length of the field, and it was the ability of the Manly side to keep the ball alive once again. You see here the kickoff. Within, I think we might have actually found it on this first tackle. Tony Iro's the man getting the ball away. There's 3 defenders going in. He still pops the ball to Jeff Tuvey. A simple matter of drawing Craig Diamond. And Jack Elsgood, a very quick man in this Manly side, made a bird of it.
Hasn't he got some speed too? Once he was in the open, it was all over. But Cronulla's offensive line was very short. Iro did the good work early, and then Craig Diamond, rather than go in, he probably should have drifted, having 2 onto him, 2-on-1 situation. He probably should have drifted back and waited for his cover. He's an old forward, he doesn't know how to do that. And Jack Elsgood, too much speed. Oljanek, good support play too.
Jack Elsgood, nephew of the great Bumper Farrell, scores his 7th try of the year. And Ivan Cleary from right in front adds the 2 points this time. Manly leading by 10 points to 0. That's where it started. From Iro being allowed to stand, Tuvey played a small part but important. Elsgood into the clear. Oljanek supports. Higgins comes across in vain, and Elsgood canters in for a try.
A pretty tough assignment set there for Kurt Wrigley, but Manly have made 2 breaks in this game, one on either wing, and on both occasions Wrigley has come up with a missed tackle. That's an area that he's got to improve on. A big test now for Cronulla. It really is an enormous blow, both physically and psychologically out there, and they've got to steel themselves in this next couple of minutes to make sure that Manly don't get the momentum going even further and run in more points.
Here's Roberts. Let's go down to the sideline. Steve Roach.
Yeah, Andrew Hick has left the field, and on for Andrew Hick is Les Davidson, the very experienced Les Davidson. He'll be out there for his front-on tackling. It won't take 3 in a tackle when he's doing the tackling.
Haslam sending Alexander up the centre. 42 metres out on 5. Cleary. They're all onside, the chasers, but that's not required. It's gone out on the full, so it was a bad kick by Ivan Cleary. Referees director or coaching director Michael Stone took us aside before the game to point out that he's been concerned that referees are getting it wrong when players kick across the ground, and there have been tries scored as a result. He made the point that we're getting it right about 50% of the time. Touch judges have been informed to play a bigger part in helping the centre men on cross kicks in relation to players being offside.
That's just a natural thing, something we've called on throughout this year's football. So much for the referees to do. Almost an impossible task, and the touch judges are in the perfect position to rule on such incidents. Cronulla looking to hit back. Fell gets a bad pass away. Cleary will have cleaned this one up. No advantage here, so we'll come back for the knock-on and a scrum feed to Manly.
About 18 metres out from the line it all happened. Bell was tackled, the ball went forward, and then it was booted through by Cronulla. Manson let it go for a while to see if he could give Manly some advantage, but he couldn't. Thus the scrum goes back to where the breach occurred. Jack Elsgood. The wind very much in his sails.
He's still the catalyst of most of the good things in this Manly side. Jeff Tuvey in attack. Very strong player. We've already seen that in the first try that he set up. He just has the ability when there's 2 or 3 defenders there to somehow go in with the football and come out the other side. An inspirational player, and his last couple of performances for Manly really have been first class.
Talking of the little fella, Manly captain Tuvey was anxious to put a pass inside for Craig Hancock. This is the last. Cleary gets a kick in. He's been felled by Aaron Raper, but there's nothing late about it. Kurt Wrigley brought down. Centre ground, 33 out from his own line.
And Manly's going well despite their kicking game. It's been abysmal so far. Every kick they've put in has been a shocker, and Ivan Cleary's getting plenty of pressure put on him by the Cronulla players. He needs a bit more support.
Even the goal kick that he had the conversion attempt of the first try came off the side of the boot, so he's not striking the ball well. He's normally fairly proficient in. Zettinghausen now, he's got to get involved. He's the class player in this Sharks outfit. Only the first or second time for mine he's touched the ball in this opening stanza.
Mitch Healy trying to go for a little bit too much, and he's put it out on the full. So it comes back for the turnover. About 12 metres on the Manly side of the halfway. Cunningham takes them on, head on. Kearns and Les Davidson bring him to ground. Roberts looking inside for Iro. Eventually he has to pop it back to him. Cunningham offloads. Devereaux loses his footing. Slotted in well, Devereaux, and so quickly. This is Jones. Starting to find that form that he was showing in the early part of last season. Roberts. Done well in preparing the WACA for tonight's rugby league visit again. See what John Quayle said, of all the teams coming in 1995, the Western Reds are by far the most advanced and organised. This is Haslam. We'll talk to the Western Reds Chief Executive Gordon Allen at half-time. Cleary makes an incisive run, steps around the last line of defence, and Cleary goes in. Oh, it's all so easy.
And a perfect example of the danger of Manly. They got away, I reckon, 5 passes in that movement where the tackle should have been affected. The 5 passes went to people not in a good position, and eventually someone made the break, found a little bit of space in front of them. Now just let's count this. It's gone back to Iro. He's going nowhere. Pushes one off. There's one tackle. Alexander, there's another. Gets the arm free. Had 2 players there. Desi Hasler, he's run in 3 circles. The ball pops out. Good ball from O'Donnell. The number 11, Dan Staines, hadn't moved across. The big step. Wrigley beaten once again. They're going to hurt you bad if you allow Manly to get the ball away.
Well, he's hot Ivan Cleary. He's in great form for the Eagles. His kicking game's not going too well tonight, but his running game is. And he gets into this gap and puts the foot down between Borton and Staines. Oh, Wrigley, how's he going tonight? Bad luck, but Cleary's in again.
So 14-0 to Manly. Still, what is there to go in this first half?
Still 18 minutes left on the clock, and this will be a further 2 points to the score.
So Cleary from right in front, and now the scoreboard shows 16-0 in favour of Manly. Hey? Welcome back to the WACA as John Jones. It's a heavy tackle from Cronulla, 16-0 in favour of Manly. We had a big high-scoring game last Friday. And the signs are there for it again. Unless Cronulla can get their act together. That last try, a comment from you, Steve.
Yeah, Cronulla are having a lot of trouble with Ian Roberts going to the line, to the defensive line, bumping and turning and offloading the ball. We call it a flop back. When they do that, the Cronulla defensive line stops. They've got to keep coming up.
Well, actually, that last tackle, 2 tackles ago, the first time that they've really stopped Roberts, he's actually hurt in back play. Darren Higgins came in, got a good shot on him. We know he had some problems last week. He's too valuable a player for Manly to gamble with. But he's okay, he's back in the line.
This is Wrigley. He's got the headgear on. It was Evans, in fact. Davidson. Haven't seen all that much of Cronulla this year. Here's Andrew Ettinghausen. Hancock didn't make the tackle, but he got in the road of Andrew Ettinghausen sufficiently enough for the other man to make the tackle. This is the high ball right across the ground. Elsgood doesn't take his eyes off it. Tackled by Danny Lee. Hancock.
It's been a real fine Jack Elsgood for Manly this year. Very safe. Already taken a couple of high kicks under pressure and scored a try. His involvement's been good. Both him and Hancock. He's got the football now. Good job on the flanks from Manly.
24 years of age, Craig Hancock. Been around for a while with the Manly club. Very competent winger. Hasler takes a very heavy tackle. Cleary. Straight down to Wrigley. Devereaux makes the tackle. Healy. Diamond coming in off his wing to do some of the heavy work. Son of the great Peter Diamond. Nephew, of course, of Bobby, the famous Diamond brothers. Is Roberts okay, Blocker?
No, the Manly camp are going to give him an extra couple of minutes to see if he comes good. But a very reliable replacement, Danny Moore, will come on if Roberts doesn't come good.
Kearns. Bootlace tackle by Tony Iro. Raper. Some work to be done again by Cleary. Can he get back into the field? He doesn't want to. He's happy to force it.
There's a little bit of success kicking down the blind side, Aaron Raper. I don't think it's the last time we'll see this tactic employed. He's looking for his winger there, but I don't think the winger reacted the way that Raper wanted him to. He ended up leading the charge. He's got a nice little short kicking game, and that's not a bad result. A line drop out, another set of 6 for Cronulla.
Well, I've got a second. I might mention that the Parramatta Club have got their annual Golden Oldies on Sunday. The 86 side will play a team of Wallabies, half rugby league and half rugby union, at 2:25 on Sunday at Parramatta Stadium. I promised Dennis Fitzgerald I'd do that for him, so there it is. Pricey and all those guys will be on show. The Crow.
Old.
Healy.
Oh,
Healy,
ball.
good ball. Reaper. 10 metres out from the line. Danny Lee. Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen 2 metres away. David O'Donnell and Ivan Cleary stopping him. Now Healy. Bell. This is the last. Raper might use the grubber. He does. Waits it into the end goal, but there's no chase.
Well, it's fairly slack play by the outside backs of Cronulla. They know Aaron Raper's capabilities in the short kicking game. He put that one in. Not one side,
there's no chase though, Paul.
No one there at all. Exactly.
And I do think with 12 minutes left to go in this first half, if they are to make a contest of this Cronulla, they have to score in these 12 minutes. Trailing by 16 now, men will go in, be refreshed. We'll see some interchange plays in the second half. They need points on the board before they go to the break.
Cunningham. Just getting back to that rubber kick, Peter, and you were a master at it.
Thanks, Ray.
Well, no, it's the truth, but is it a breakdown of communication from the kicker to his immediate outside backs, or is it just sheer laziness?
Well, I think it's a
on the part of the chasers I'm talking about.
Well, here's Oljanik.
There's no laziness in what you're watching now. Oljanik striding it out, looking for his second try. Wrigley comes across. Oljanik goes in to score. Flirted with the sideline, but he had to, and picks up the try. His second of the night.
Oh, Kurt Wrigley. Fair dinkum. Poor bloke. He's under a lot of pressure.
Well, let's go back to the first miss, Paul. As Manly again keeping the ball alive. This Cronulla defence not came up here. The missed tackle, the bad missed tackle is that one there.
Mitch
Look
Healy,
at that.
I think it is
straight,
again.
yeah, it's Mitch Healy straight through. Oljanik, well, he took the odds to it. There's no way he can score this try.
If he goes around the legs, he get in, but he didn't. It's a simple case of you've got to get him around the legs first. That's the miss. Oljanik's got plenty of pace. What a find he's been for the Eagles since coming to Penrith. Now he's got the sideline to work with and everything, Wrigley. And, I mean, I would have hated to have been a full-back, but it's a tackle that it just should have been made, simple as that.
Well, I think you'd have been, well, gee, did his foot go on the line there? No. I'll tell you what.
Tell you what, if you watch it a few more times, it'll go on the line for sure.
Oh. Well, again, we have the luxury of the video replay. But Kurt Wrigley, he had to come up with the tackle there. 2 missed tackles in that movement, and it's another 4-pointer for the Manly side. I said it was Cronulla who needed to score in this last part of the first half as another replacement for Cronulla coming on, trying to bolster this defence in Chris Quinn. The one thing I will say about these tries that Manly are scoring, they are soft tries.
Aaron Raper coming from the field, and Chris Quinn goes on. Cleary from the sideline, 20 metres out. Already Manly leading by 20 points to 0. From the sideline, not a bad looking kick, but just coming around too much. 20-0 in favour of Manly now. Back here at the WACA, Manly are giving Cronulla exactly that. A real whacking, 20-0.
The thing of it is, Ray, that they're not working for their tries. It's just a matter of they just know the break will come because the Cronulla offence is not putting them on the ground. Here's Roberts now, 3 men still not on the ground. Another one comes in. You know, either he's the strongest man in the world or the Cronulla offence is not working properly.
Tuvey pulled down by Eddinghausen. Cleary. Wrigley back inside his own 10-metre line. Des Hasler, first man there, wrapping him up. Quinn. Diamond. Very hard to gauge the size of this crowd at the WACA tonight. They use up the grandstands and the private box areas, and sometimes you can be way out in your estimates.
Actually, a lot of people seem to arrive right on kick-off rates. An early start over here, of course, with the time difference, 6:30. A lot of people come straight from work. We do end up with a very big crowd, whereas right on kick-off it looks as though it's disappointing, but the crowd has built up.
This is the last now for the Sharks. Healy. Cleary taking a look over the shoulder and realising that he had a mile of time to let the ball go over the dead ball line. .22 place kick restart now for the Manly side. 20-0.
He's a player playing quite well for Cronulla, the man who made that tackle, Robbie Kearns. He's taken the ball up very strong. That was a good hit too. But Kearns has taken the ball up very well, and his defence has been impeccable.
And Darren Higgitt's the man who came in and put that big shot on is another who's come up with some good shots out there. His timing has been very, very good, arriving there just as the man caught the ball. Hasn't been enough of it from Manly. Another two players hanging on to the tackle player, Alexander. He still popped the ball. The first priority in a tackle has got to be to stop the football. You don't want to go in and hurt the bloke. You don't want to drive him backwards. You stop the football and then you go for those kind of effects in the tackle.
Last tackle now. Cleary. Wrigley. Again, Hasler, first man down there to make the tackle. Leading the chase. Eddinghausen getting some attention. Evans, well picked up that ball. That was put down eventually by Diamond. Devereaux. Just getting back into position now. In fact, he's out on the wing right now, but here's Hancock. And again not put down. Hasler brought down right on the halfway mark. O'Donnell, Iro, cuts out Hancock, and Oljanek, scorer of 2 tries. Tooby runs the decoy. Cunningham takes it just inside the 40-metre line. O'Donnell, Roberts, Alexander's with him on the outside. This is the last. Cleary, Jones, straight up and down. Penalty goes to Cronulla.
Well, John Jones is 15 metres past the referee there, but again, it's that rule, Ray, where the player was in front of him and wasn't outside the 10 metres, even though the man's gone through. Let's have a look at it. Kick goes up from John Jones. Now, Jones goes through. Well, he should be onside. Ivan Cleary was outside that 10-metre area from the man who caught the ball. The referee didn't even acknowledge Jones, who went through yelling and screaming, hands held up.
Danny Lee, good work. That's Bell. Wrapped up 40 metres away from the Manly line. Quinn. Healy. Oh, shocking. Davidson.
Hey, Blocker, there's a lot of players having trouble out there with their footing on that cricket pitch area.
Yeah, it does look pretty hard out there, although it's pretty lush and green on the outskirts where Manly look like they're going all the time.
Kearns, to the blind side they go. Quinn, neat little chip kick off the left foot, and standing up in the in goal, Hancock. Can he get back into the field of play? He's been wrapped up by the Sharks.
Yeah, good work there. Craig Hancock tried in vain to get out of his in-goal area. Nice little kick. Their short kicking game has been pretty good, Cronulla.
It was better desperation, wasn't it?
And
Healy
Hancock
got there and came up with the ankle tap. There are a couple of Cronulla players coming in to affect the tackle. That's better stuff from them. There's Des Hasler being spoken to under the post there. In a few words, Des Hasler having a few to say to his teammates. Say what he'd be saying with 3 minutes left on the clock is they must keep their line intact. They can't undo all the good work by allowing Cronulla to score in this dangerous time.
Kearns.
He's been strong blocker, Kearns, hasn't he?
Yeah, I've been very impressed with Kearns. I've seen him a couple of times this year. He's got a good ability to stand in tackles and offload. Very strong front-on defender. But I feel a bit sorry for him tonight. He's the only one really that's having a go for Cronulla.
Dan Staines. Healy. Eddinghausen. Boughton almost putting it on the ground. Healy came up with it. Davidson now gets it down on the 10-metre line. 5 gone. Healy comes back, tries to work for himself. Loose ball. Manson's looking at it with the in-goal judge. This could be a try. Right on half-time. No, it's not. Manson had a long consultation with the in-goal judge.
Well-placed kick here from Mitch Healy, hitting the post. But there you'll see, I think Ivan Cleary was the man who got there first and put pressure on the football, forcing it in goal. Good decision from Ivan.
Diamond knocks on from the line dropout. He didn't get much help here from Les Davidson, unfortunately. Bad communication. Davidson pulls out of it at the last moment, and Diamond knocks on. Just looking at the bench that Manly has got. Cliff Lyons, Gene Namu, Danny Moore. They've got some good players there, haven't they? Penalty goes to Manly, and that's against the near side prop. Very seldom do you see a referee employ or apply a scrum penalty for that offence, but David Manson has decided to use it. Roberts. Des Hasler. They've only got to push the ball right, and it looks like there's vacant space. Tooby turns it in for Devereaux. 10 metres from the line. Siren in the background, and Manson calls a halt. Manly goes to the break, leading Cronulla by 20 points to nil. 20 points to nil in favour of the Eagles over the Sharks at the WACA. Fairly big crowd now starts to find their seats again as Mitch Healy prepares to get us into the second half. Manson blows time on. Second half underway. Let's hope that Cronulla Sutherland can put something together for us in this half of football. Iro wrapped up and put down 10 metres out from his own line by Dan Staines and David Boughton. Jones 20 metres away from his own line. Manly on their second visit to the WACA. They played Canberra here in 1990. Lost that match. And now there's a lost ball. So it's going to be a scrum just inside the 30-metre line. Well, that looked as though it might have got some assistance.
He did get some assistance from Andrew Eddinghausen, who ripped the ball out. But Cronulla now needs to get the pill, and they're in Manly's danger area.
Talking of Eddinghausen, he may have been the villain. Now he's the hero. Bell. Chris Quinn is on in jumper number 40. Davidson. This is Quinn again. Higgins is the acting half. Danny Lee. do their confidence the world of good if they could put a try on here in the opening seconds of the second half. They've promoted the ball right along the back line to Kurt Wrigley.
Yes, and if he lets it go, I think it's a try. As on the last tackle, the ball to Healy. Puts the kick up. It's a good kick too, right on the line.
The big men fly. Tuvey got a hand to it. Forced in goal by Manly. So the line drop out. Higgins hobbling back into his position.
Well, I'll get another 6 here, Cronulla, but I think they should really have scored in that last movement. Let's just have a look what Wrigley's got on the outside of him here. If he gives a short ball to the man coming onto it, that creates an overlap straight away. You see the Manly centre came in, and there's a Cronulla winger out wide. Very close to a try if they move the ball.
Cleary with the line drop out. And right down on the halfway for Wrigley to send Dan Staines back to them. Another case of a player slipping on that cricket pitch area. Diamond. Lee. Good, strong performance. This is Evans. Healy. Davidson. Ten away from the line. Robbie Kearns. This is the last coming up now. Boughton to dummy half. Eddinghausen. Across through Healy. Long ball. Danny Lee. Dan Staines gets it back, but it's gone into no man's land, but the referee has ruled that a shepherd occurred out there, has he not? No, it's a turnover.
I find it hard to understand why you'd have Andrew Eddinghausen as your first receiver. And now we've got Danny Lee and Dan Staines out wide. They're mixed up there. I think it should be the other way around. Eddinghausen's a speed man. Manly get a let off. Some good pressure there from Cronulla early in the second half, comes to nothing.
Let's go down to Steve Roach.
Yeah, a bit of news on the Cronulla hooker Aaron Raper. There was a bit of news going around that he had been crook all week, but that's not the truth. He was taken off at half-time because of his poor performance in the first half.
Hasler, a hand-off back for Cunningham. Iro.
Well, I find that an unusual move from Arthur Beetson as Devereaux almost breaks a couple of tackles. If there's one player who can be the catalyst in this Cronulla side to get something going, especially in attack, it's Aaron Raper. I think he's one of the more skillful players in the side as that kick goes dead from Manly, and he's sitting on the bench. They are 20 behind.
I'm wondering whether it was a case of mistaken identity with Raper.
Who would you think it should have been, Ray?
Oh, we called Healy missing a couple of tackles, dropping off a couple of tackles, and there's a little bit of similarity there, I suppose. But anyway, they've decided that it was Raper who had to come off, and so be it. He did put a few things together in the time that he was there. Danny Lee. Now, Manly getting a replacement ready. Stephen Menzies. Iro's the man that we're told will come from the field. Davidson. Healy. It's a good kick by the little number 7. He's found the line. Only about 8 metres away from the Manly line. 20-0 in favour of the Eagles.
Number 24, Steve Menzies. 24 on, 11 off.
Welcome back to the WACA. Manly leading by 20 points to 0. Tuvey weaving his way outside the 20-metre zone. seem a left arm problem with Tony Iro. O'Donnell. Cleary. Kurt Wrigley bringing it back. This is Evans. Higgins. Jones underneath and Alexander over the top. Healy, short pass for Danny Lee. Oh my God, he's a worker, isn't he?
Very good player, Danny Lee. Gets him going forward all the time. And he and Kearns have been the standouts for Cronulla in their forward pack especially. He's a very deceptive player, Danny Lee. Not the quickest player around, but he always strides out and runs very hard and offloads at will.
Yeah, he can pop a ball up. We've also seen him kick this year and set up the try. A mistake made here and knock on. I do think he's physically one of the hardest players I've ever played against, Danny Lee.
What's the trouble with Tony Iro there, Steve?
Yeah, he's got a cork left arm, so he probably won't be back today, but it's a good opportunity for Stephen Menzies to show his wares.
Alexander. Listening to Gordon Allen at half-time, they're starting to build a reasonable team over here, the Western Reds. I did hear that John Grieve, a very good player from Manly, who comes from West Aussie, was going to join the Reds. I don't know whether that's true or false.
Yeah, great skill there from both John Devereaux and Ivan Cleary to catch that. Yes, I think John Grieve will be here. Brett Doherty is playing club football in Perth. The quick hands and the great pickup from Cleary and going right. And the mail is very strong on Greg Alexander and Mark Geyer.
I believe Western Suburbs, Sean Devine is also destined for the Western Reds.
No thoughts of coming back, Paul?
Nope.
Good.
Diamond. Healy decides to try and make the break himself. There's not much opportunity being offered though by Manly. The only way they're going to get really through the Manly line is if Manly drops off in intensity. That can happen when you lead by such a margin. No sign of it so far. Young Cleary now carries it back. 24 metres out from his own line, and he might have been injured there, I think, young Cleary. He's waving to the bench, to the trainers. Devereaux.
He does hit this Darren Higgins.
But once again, Peter, they didn't put him on the ground. I mean, the best way to put a strong man like that on the ground is actually go to ground yourself in the tackle and drag him down with you.
Well, there it's happened again. And what that does, it means that Manly can play the ball quicker.
Exactly.
Cronulla can't get set as quickly as they would like. And straight away, you're on the back pedal.
Cleary's kick sending Wrigley back 15 metres from his own line, but Diamond does the job for him.
Get him down.
Chris Quinn. Davidson.
Well, things going from bad to worse for the Sharks there. Really lazy play, Denny Staines taking the ball up with just simple cold drop. And this will allow Manly now in good field position to put something on. Very dangerous from the scrums, Manly. Seen them put on some good moves.
Jeff Tuvey standing very wide. Yeah, that means that they trying to open up the blind, trying to sell the fact that they were going to go that way. Unfortunately, Desi Hasler tripped. Cronulla were able to round him up at the scrum base fairly easily.
O'Donnell. Jones. Well, they've attracted another very good crowd here tonight. I'm just getting the official crowd figures through. And it's 18,053. Tuvey turning it in. Menzies. In and away by Menzies, not once but twice.
Oh, Wrigley got him.
10 metres from the line. Last tackle, Des Hasler. Alexander kept it alive. Hasler away for Elsgood. Fielded by Diamond.
He's been unlucky, Menzies. Made the break, and Wrigley, to his credit, he finally got one.
That was good play from both sides there.
Beautiful pass from Jeff Tuvey, wasn't it?
It's lazy work again from Dan Staines, not coming across the number 11. Rounded up there. From the next play, the 5th tackle, Manly opted to run it. Cronulla got reformed in defence fairly quickly, and it was good play from both sides. Good attack and good defence.
Boughton. Staines. Eddinghausen, the pass might have been a touch forward. Higgins leaves it on the ground. Eddinghausen kicks it, and Manly's Hancock just rakes it back in the nick of time.
Andrew Eddinghausen, Ian Roberts have come out the worst for wear from that. Eddinghausen knowing it was the last tackle. Good work there from Hancock to keep the ball in play. Devereaux there. Higgins comes in, can't put him over the sideline. Eddinghausen now limping back into position, and Ian Roberts a little bit dusty as well.
Hancock keeping it alive. Tuvey. The sideline, Steve.
I feel a bit sorry for Cronulla when they have got the ball. Chris Quinn is not regularly a hooker. I'd like you to watch.
Oh, hold the phone, Blocker. We'll come back to you shortly. Hasler strides down the ground. Oh, Eddinghausen picked him up and dumped him.
I told you he wasn't well, E.T. In the last tackle, Cunningham. A torpedo, and not a bad one, but not a great deal of pressure.
What about the strength of Eddinghausen in the tackle on Hasler? He's picked him up like a pygmy.
He looked a bit angry, didn't he?
Didn't he get angry?
Yeah, maybe a few of the other teammates should get a little bit. Desi Hasler straight through. A bad miss there from Les Davidson. Now, what about this? There's Kurt Wrigley.
Oh, dear.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, Blocker, we came right over the top of you.
Oh, that's all right. It was a great tackle. I was just watching the work of Chris Quinn from dummy half at Cronulla. He's not normally a hooker. I think they're missing Aaron Raper. Some bad wobbly passes from dummy half. Just watch.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it at a better time. It was straight over the hands of Healy, and he was totally outstretched. Cleary. Everything starts from the dummy half, and if he's not got it right, nothing's going to go right. Well, did you think Raper was playing all that badly, Paul Vaught?
I thought he was going okay. He's one of the few Cronulla players actually trying something, trying to go forward with some momentum, and a few of those little kicks are unlucky. You know, I thought he was going all right, and his defence is okay. There he is on the bench down there, and a bit disappointed, I suppose.
Tuvey floats it across. Hancock tries to get outside his man. Evans does well. Going to be a scrum about 9 metres on the Cronulla side of the halfway. Beautiful pass.
Yeah, nice work by Evans. Hancock on the outside. He used the sideline well, Evans, and just brushed him over the sideline.
18,053 at the WACA tonight. It's a bigger crowd than was attracted by Canberra and eastern suburbs here. Bell. .42 for Cronulla. Sutherland is Troy Stone. This is Diamond coming back. Bell again. Healy. Lee. He's really lost nothing alongside the Manly forwards who've had the better of it. I'm talking of Danny Lee.
And the thing that I like about him is that out of every set of 6 tackles, he'll take 2 up. He'll do a power of work all night. He can pop a ball. And as I said earlier, physically, he's a very strong man.
Reminds me in many ways of a Western Suburbs prop forward called Darren Britt. Now, that's gone over the dead ball line, comes out to the 22, 20 points to 0 in favour of the Sea Eagles over the Sharkies. Welcome back to the WACA ground, and Manly continuing quite nicely, leading by 20 points to 0, but it must be said Cronulla got their act together a touch better than they did in the first half. They're offering some opposition to Manly. They're still not cleaning the man with the ball up entirely. Roberts about to play at 33 metres out from the line. Hasler. This is Menzies. He's got a nice step, this fellow. Evans goes back. Devereaux cleans him up just 3 metres away from the line.
Yes, with Cleary going off, you'll find that Hancock's gone back to the fullback position and Devereaux is now playing on the right wing, with Denny Moore going on into the centres.
Evans. Diamond. Next Friday night we go to Parramatta Stadium for the Penrith-Parramatta match. As Healy clears from just outside his own 20-metre line. Hancock will carry it back. Devereaux. Manly taking quite a deal of time to get back and get organised. Roberts and Jones combining at close quarters. Well, Aaron Raper's now getting ready to go back on. Just able to get away from the tackle by Craig Diamond. Hancock. Had a mile of time, Hancock, to get his kick away, but eventually put it straight down the throat of Kurt Wrigley.
I think if Manly are to win this game, the one thing that will bother Bozo, the coach, is their kicking game. It's been pretty ordinary all around the park. Not too many effective kicks have been put down in the Cronulla area, and they'll need to do some work on that at training if they want to be in the final 5 later in the year.
Yeah, maybe that's one area where they're inside backs probably aren't as proficient as other sides. Des Hasler, a great worker, very explosive, professional, as you see there. And he's not a kicker of the football. Jeff Tuvey, he's not a long kicker. He can kick okay, but if Ivan Cleary, without Matthew Ridge in the side, is off his game, they are going to suffer in that department.
Hancock returning the kick by Mitch Healy. John Devereaux.
Funnily enough, Ray, he's probably been the best contained Manly player out there with the evasion that Devereaux possesses. I thought with a scoreline like this, you'd see him figure very prominently. And I can't remember him beating a defender out there tonight up to date. They've done a pretty good job on him as Manly go wide again.
He's been overshadowed by Oljunik, hasn't he? This is Oljanik now, standing and offloading for Tuvey. Tuvey goes for a scamper down the wing, but he's pulled down. Eddinghausen it was. Alexander. Looking across for runners, finds Menzies. Cronulla's captain Dan Staines has left the field. Aaron Raper is out there now for him. Hancock. There's another dipsy doodle on the edge of the cricket pitch. Wrigley.
You can actually hear the referee, David Manson, telling the Manly players to stay 10, keep out of it. Ball was bouncing. The Cronulla man hadn't picked the ball up. He wanted them to keep the required distance. I think that's good work from the referee, just reassuring the side as to what he expects from them.
He hasn't had what you would call a difficult match to referee, David Manson, but for what he's done it well. Jones.
6 again signalled there.
Right on the halfway mark we are. 20-0 in favour of Manly. They racked that score up in the first half. Nothing's come since. Danny Moore plays in the forwards often. Big enough. Certainly fast enough. He's playing centres at the moment. Tuvey. Across, looking for a flat runner. Menzies. 18,000, they'd be happy with that crowd here.
They'd like to get that crowd, wouldn't they, at every home ground that the Western Reds play here in 1995. It's a big crowd. It's been a fair game. I think Manly's intensity has dropped off somewhat in this second half. They've got the big buffer, the 20 points in front. Cronulla's played a lot better the second half, a lot more commitment.
Kearns. This is a Cronulla home game, as I pointed out earlier. The league, of course, they provide the airfares and accommodation for both sides. Cronulla, as the home team, are guaranteed an amount of money as their home gate. Higgins. This is the last coming up for the Sharks. Raper. Mistake made by Hancock. There's still a chance here.
Well, he's offside, Danny Moore, in saving the try, but great work by Aaron Raper. They'll take a quick tap, will they?
What about Paul Evans, the winger? He was 20 metres behind that. They've gone wide straight away from the tap, but bad work there from the winger. Should have been a try.
Wrigley's pass, it looked forward to Bell. Manson says play on. Eddinghausen comes back the other way to Healy. Healy stands in the tackle. He only needed a runner. That's all he needed, was somebody running off him. Kearns, he'll score. Kearns goes from dummy half. Cronulla's first points.
Yeah, and he deserves a try too, Robbie Kearns. He's been just about Cronulla's best. 20 points to 4 now, they get the try. But Aaron Raper, put the try down to Aaron Raper, I think.
Yeah, good work. We said, now have a look. He turns there to look for his winger. Look where the winger was 20 metres behind play. And eventually a loose ball there. Now, if the winger's there to help Aaron Raper, I think he's in a position to score. Danny Moore made the effort to get there. Fortunately for the Sharks, well, you see there, the marker David O'Donnell actually got caught up with Mitch Healy. He's the 9. He's gone one way, gone the other. By the time he'd reacted, it was try.
Well, Manly had 2 players on the ground then, didn't that play the ball? So a big advantage there for Robbie Kearns, and happy man. He's played well.
Mitch Healy will do the honours from practically right in front. Cronulla's first points of the match. Trailed 20 points to 0 at half-time. That has continued until Cronulla went in for that try by Robbie Kearns. And Mitch Healy with the attempted conversion. 10 metres out, right in front. And there's the extras for Cronulla. Manly leading by 20 points to 6 now.
Cliffy Lyons still on the bench there, isn't he? Hasn't he? Yeah.
Back at the WACA, and Cronulla Sutherland on the board, trailing by 20 points to 6, about 14 minutes to go. Tony Iro is back on the field now. Ian Roberts has come from the ground, and Tony Iro with that corked left arm has been forced back into the game. Still no use being made of Cliff Lyons. There he is. Stone. Diamond. There could be a few clubs around would love to have Cliffy Lyons on the field. Forget about the bench. This is good passing by Cronulla. Was that a high shot? Ball comes away. Wrigley is with it. There's a touch judge coming in now. I would have thought that Manson was right on top of the action, though.
Well, he might have seen the tackle and decided to let it go on. And the touch judge has, he couldn't get on there quick enough. Here's Davidson, good offloading there onto Healy. And the way they go, it's more of a grab than anything else, but it is around the head area, around the neck area, and that's why the touch judge come on. So a penalty to Cronulla against Craig Hancock.
I can't believe that Manson didn't see that himself.
Well, no, he did see it. He called play on.
Well, that's right. So why the obligation to give a penalty
exactly
on a touch judge report if you've seen it yourself?
And why wouldn't you say, yeah, mate, I saw the incident, it's nothing to worry about.
Thanks very much.
Get back where you belong.
That's right. This is Robbie Kearns. Raper away to the right. Good face ball out there for Danny Lee. Raper again. Healy. Stone puts it down. And Tubi's got the ball. I thought he may have knocked on, as a matter of fact. Danny Moore. Let's have a look at this. Stone puts it down. Tubi, yeah, he did.
Just when Cronulla was starting to exert a little bit of pressure, they got their first converted try. They were on the far side of the field. Danny Lee hitting the line, all undone with a bad mistake.
Alexander. The last tackle on John Jones has shaken him up. He's not well.
He's found a knock on, and that played the ball too, Manson. There's Jones, he gets a pat on the back from the trainer, Peter Cullum. And here's the incident. Alexander getting up to play the ball. And the tackle was still being effective, and he lost the ball.
Yeah, the knee actually forced it out, the knee of Danny Lee. The usual way for it to come out. But it is a Cronulla feed, centre field. Best opportunity to attack for a back line. Forwards are out of the way. Eddinghausen a little bit of room to move. He's going the blind. They make 2 metres.
3-3 the scrums. Healy. Stone again. Bell. Davidson. Last for Cronulla. The penalty has been given to Manly. He's called Cronulla for being inside the 10. Here's the kicker. He must have ruled that the winger was in front of the kicker. That was the ruling. No doubt about what the rule was. Jones. Tubi. Alexander. 20 points to 6 in favour of Manly. Hasler. Hancock. Menzies. 33 out from his own line. Wrapped up by Robbie Kearns. Danny Moore. O'Donnell. Hasler. Tuvey. Iro coming around. Oljanek. This is the last. Craig Hancock. Good long kick, and Kurt Wrigley forced back to his own 10-metre line as he brings it back outside the 20.
Wingers getting involved for Cronulla. Paul Evans playing at the Glenn Coleman. Been around a long time. He's on there for Craig Diamond. The Beats are looking for some inspiration. Can score a try, Glenn Coleman. Speed man.
Danny Lee flicking it out the back. Paul Bell. Reminder, Sunday night we'll have the highlights of Newcastle and Brisbane. And the footy show on Sunday between 12 and 1. And who will be your special guest, Mr. Vorton?
Oh, we've got Craig Hancock's coming on in the pass the ball with Denny Staines, and usual legends will be there, Blocker and Sterlo and the Moose.
Ken Arthurson coming in for the morning, I think.
Yes, Darko's Uncle Arks, he'll be in.
Sunday afternoon, Ray, the Newcastle-Brisbane game. Brisbane, the only team that Newcastle has not defeated since coming into the competition. They'll be looking to overcome a hoodoo again in front of a big crowd at the Marathon Stadium.
Alexander put away, but Manson not happy with it.
Well, I think there's been a punch thrown in here in the tackle, or a swinging arm of some description, and Les Davidson the culprit. And the penalty has gone to Manly. Here's the tackle on. There's a swinging arm there from Davidson. Wouldn't have bruised a peach, but penalty's gone anyway. Blocker, if you were a Bozo, would you be disappointed in Manly's second half tonight?
Come back down to Blocker. There's obviously a grim
He's not
on there.
committal. He's not sure.
O'Donnell. Jones. Iro. Short passing. David Alexander. He's been very busy for Manly tonight.
I'll answer the question, Paul. I don't think Bob Fulton would be too disappointed. It's a match-winning lead. I really think his main concern would be that his players get through uninjured from now on. Good ball movement there from Manly. Put them in within 12 metres on the last tackle.
Menzies now. Menzies goes for the line and falls short. Turnover ordered. Aaron Raper's hurt.
He's had an impact at 24 since going on.
Oh, he's a good player, good young player. A local junior from the Eagles. Nearly gets the ball down. Nice tackle by Wrigley to save the try. And the Cronulla, Bozo will be pretty happy with their second half. They've played a lot better.
Good tackle too. 3 points to 6. Only 5 minutes to go here. Manly well and truly wrapped this one up, and as we said at the start of the program, a danger game it was for them. They were 4 points off the 5. This takes them 2 closer depending on what results happen over this round. Cronulla look to put in some final points here, and they've made the bust on the far wing. Paul Bell kicks ahead.
Devereaux. Back in the full-back position, likes a bit of open space and now relishes it. 45 metres out from his own line, puts a ball down. Tuvey cleans it up.
And knocks on.
Nice piece of Cronulla play, set up by Andrew Eddingshausen. I think he's had a pretty fair game, ET, out there, but I think Sterlo, what he needs, I think he needs to be in the centres to give him a bit more room to move, and they need a classy 5'8" Cronulla to use the speed and expertise of ET out a bit wider.
Yeah, I think he's worked hard in defence. Hasn't had too many opportunities in attack. Manly defence has been pretty firm out there. You know, I tend to agree. He has played well, Andrew Eddinghausen, that 5'8" for Cronulla. You know, they've won plenty of games lately, and he's led the way. And, well, he's a chance here with his speed.
Well, he's out in front of the Manly players, keeps it intelligently on the toe, forces the ball, but it's over the dead ball line.
Well, you've got to feel sorry for him. That was inspirational play there. He just kicked it that a little bit too far, got an ankle tap behind. It just misses. Caught the fullback out here, Craig Hancock. He's nowhere in sight. Jeff Tooby was coming across. Namu was coming back. And that deserved the try for mine. A good decision.
Jones. Gene Namu is out there now for the Manly side. Tony Iro back on the bench again. Menzies.
Another player for the Eagles who's had a top game, done a lot of hard work, hasn't gone unnoticed, is Owen Cunningham, the lock forward. He just powers on the whole game. He's very tight out there, out wide at the moment, but he's done a lot of hard work. And now Alexander up the middle.
35 away from the Cronulla line. This is the last. Under 3 minutes to go. Gene Namu. Paul Evans. Stone. Kearns. Danny Lee. Not a great deal on offer for Cronulla. Manly's defensive line has seldom been broken.
They've shared the defence very nicely. Jesse Hasler, a big 28 tackles for him in the halfback position. O'Donnell's come up with 35, but all the forwards are in the 20 mark area, and that's what the coach is looking for, a nice even spread. As Jack Elsker beats his man. Wonder boot, kicks over the top of Wrigley. Will he get there? Yes.
Siren.
Was it a good call? Get those knives out of his back.
Oh, still.
The siren not too far away, and Jack Elsker just puts a bit of icing on this cake.
Now look at the Cronulla defensive line. Doesn't come up out wide. There's still not much doing. Only 2 Manly players. Elsgood, another missed tackle there by Coleman. This is great work by Elsgood. Initiative shown there. Put the little kick in. Not one of Wrigley's best nights. It'd be a game he'll just want to just forget about it completely.
It does show the cruel fortunes of rugby league, doesn't it? Only 6 or 12 tackles ago, we had Andrew Eddinghausen all but scoring a try. A little kick over the top. His went too far. Elsgood was perfectly placed there. And that takes the score to 24 points to 6. It's been an easy night for the Sea Eagles.
There's not going to be too many easy nights, I'm afraid, or days for the Sea Eagles, though, if they're going to make these semi-finals. 4 points behind Canberra and Brisbane, 5 behind North Sydney. They're in that invidious position of hoping that the sides in front of them can get beaten consecutively. John Devereaux is the kicker. 15 metres off centre, brings it around, and no problems for John Devereaux, and no problems for Manly tonight. 26 points to 6, the final score. 26 points to 6 in favour of the Eagles, in front of a crowd of 18,053 at Perth WACA ground